Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
Okay, let's unpack something that feels less like a future possibility and more like the ground shifting beneath our feet right now. Artificial intelligence.
Definitely.
It seems like it's moved way past simply automating tasks and is actively, redefining what we thought was possible for both humans and machines.
It really is a fundamental transformation, and just the speed of it.
Yeah.
It's astonishing.
Exactly. And that's why we wanted to do this deep dive. We've been digging into a really fascinating article from the AI World Journal. It's titled Artificial Intelligence, Redefining What's Possible. So our mission today is basically to pull out the absolute core insights from this piece, kind of bypass the noise, so you can really grasp the most important, maybe even surprising shifts happening in AI right now and why they actually matter.
Yeah, it's about getting to the heart of this change, understanding the implications, beyond just the headlines.
So where does the article pick things off? It starts with this foundational shift. It talks about how, for years, AI was primarily about automation. Think about those early chatbots, the ones that could only handle very specific questions, or systems that just sorted emails based on simple rules, repetitive, pretty defined tasks.
Right. That was all about making existing processes maybe faster, maybe cheaper. But the article really highlights that the major shift happening now is towards augmentation.
Augmentation, okay.
Yeah, AI isn't just performing tasks for us anymore. It's becoming something that thinks, adapts, even creates alongside us. It's not just doing, it's collaborating.
And that feels like a crucial distinction, doesn't it? It's moving from being just a tool you command, like a calculator, to being more like a co-pilot, or even, as the article suggests, sometimes a partner leading you towards new possibilities you hadn't considered.
It's like trading that really fast calculator for a creative partner who can brainstorm completely new ideas with you.
Exactly.
And nowhere is that more obvious right now than in the explosion of generative AI.
Okay, right. This is where it gets really interesting for a lot of people. These generative models, they don't just analyze data. They seem to conjure entirely new things into existence just based on prompts.
The examples the article gives are pretty mind-bending, seriously. We're talking about AI models that can generate, full novels.
Yeah.
Compose symphonies with complex arrangements, create original visual art that just stands alone, even design intricate 3D models that are ready for manufacturing or virtual worlds.
And all sparked by just a few sentences, a text prompt you provide.
Exactly.
Turning simple text instructions into, say, immersive video stories, or generating hyper-realistic images, creating voiceovers that are basically indistinguishable from human speech.
Yeah, the source points directly to tools like OpenAI's GPT-4 for text generation, Google's VO3, and also Sora for video, and things like Midjourney for images. These are concrete examples of this capability becoming, almost mainstream now.
Right.
And this isn't just about efficiency or convenience anymore. The article makes this really powerful case that this capability is touching the very core of what we consider human creativity. It's fundamentally changing how content, art, and design are actually brought into the world.
That is a massive paradigm shift. But then the article introduces another concept that feels like the next leap again. Agentic AI. That sounds even more autonomous.
It is, yeah. While generative AI creates things, agentic AI, it acts.
Acts. How so?
The article describes these as AI systems, agents really, that can operate semi-independently within digital environments. So they perceive their state, they reason about a goal you give them, plan the steps to achieve it, and then execute those steps without needing constant human handholding.
Okay, so they're not just waiting for a single command then. They can pursue a goal over time. What kinds of actions are we actually talking about here?
Well, the article lists quite a range, things like managing complex email workflows and dynamic schedules, conducting multi-step web research, and then synthesizing the findings, making purchases or booking quite intricate travel plans automatically.
Right.
Writing and even debugging code, simulating complex business processes to find optimizations, and even managing or optimizing financial portfolios based on strategies you set up beforehand.
Wow. So instead of me sorting my own inbox, the AI agent understands my priorities And actually takes action to clear it out, forwarding things, scheduling related calls, maybe drafting replies for me.
Exactly that. The picture painted is one where AI agents could potentially be negotiating contracts on your behalf, or optimizing your business's supply chain in real time based on incoming data, or acting as a fully autonomous personal investment manager, like 24/7.
Huh.
They perceive the digital environment and proactively work towards the objective you've given them.
And the article mentions specific tools here like AutoGPT, OpenAgents, and LangChain as laying the groundwork for this kind of capability.
That's right, they're providing the frameworks.
This shift from simply responding to actually acting independently, it feels like a huge step. It instantly brings up that critical question, doesn't it, about control?
It absolutely does. And as these systems gain more autonomy, the conversation, just as the article highlights, it moves beyond what AI can technically do to the much, much more complex question of what it should do.
Yeah.
Who defines those goals, and how do we make sure they actually align with human intent and values?
Which immediately brings up concerns about job displacement for many people, of course.
Yeah,
There's that very natural fear that AI will just take over everything, particularly creative jobs.
understandably.
But the article offers a really compelling counterpoint here, focusing on collaboration.
Yes, it reframes that whole dynamic, not replacement, but collaboration. The source suggests that instead of just competing with humans, AI is rapidly becoming this incredibly powerful partner in human creativity.
I found the examples they gave particularly vivid, like artists using AI almost as a dynamic muse, helping them break creative blocks or generate entirely new visual styles they wouldn't have thought of. Musicians using AI to propose novel melodic structures or arrangements, maybe blending genres in really surprising ways.
Or filmmakers leveraging AI to rapidly generate everything from script variations and dialogue options to specific visual scenes or character designs.
Right.
And the article even gives a concrete example. Using these AI-generated assets can slash production timelines for something like a short film from, say, months down to just weeks.
Months to weeks. I mean, that changes everything about access to creative tools, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It dramatically lowers the barrier to entry for all sorts of creative projects.
It fundamentally redefines who can be a filmmaker or a designer or a composer.
Yeah.
And that line from the article really stays with you. The next Picasso may not just hold a brush. They might hold a prompt. It just flips our definition of what an artist is or does right on its head.
It really challenges us to think about the human role, not necessarily as the sole creator of every single pixel or every note, but maybe more as the director, the visionary, the collaborator who's steering these incredibly powerful new tools.
Okay, so beyond these individual creative or agentic capabilities, the article then zooms out a bit to look at the massive global impact AI is already starting to have, and it specifically highlights healthcare and education.
Yeah, these are absolutely critical sectors, and AI's potential here is just immense. In healthcare, the article details how AI is accelerating drug discovery,
Right.
shrinking timelines that used to take years and years. It's improving our ability to predict disease outbreaks, which gives us a crucial head start on public health crises. And it's becoming this invaluable assistant in early diagnosis for really complex conditions like cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease.
And it's enhancing existing tech too, right? Like improving the clarity and interpretation of medical imaging.
Exactly, which means fewer diagnostic errors. And it's even enabling things like remote robotic surgeries, meaning a world-class surgeon could potentially operate on someone thousands of miles away.
Incredible.
Yeah, the source mentions companies like DeepMind using AI to help decode the complex human genome.
Wow.
And Tempus applying it to personalize cancer treatment right down to the individual patient's specific genetic makeup. I mean, this level of precision medicine.
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Just wasn't really possible before AI.
And education is apparently seeing similar transformative potential. The article points to adaptive learning systems as a really key area.
Yeah, these systems are designed to dynamically tailor the pace, the content, even the teaching method to suit an individual student's specific needs and, importantly, how they learn best.
Right, not one size fits all.
Exactly. The goal is dramatically improved learning outcomes compared to that traditional approach.
And this feels particularly important on a global scale. Things like AI tutors and instantly translated educational content could help fill critical gaps in regions with limited access to teachers or resources.
Definitely. The article highlights initiatives like Khan Academy's Khanmigo
Ah, yes.
and Duolingo's AI tutors as real-world examples of AI helping to bridge some of those educational divides worldwide.
It's easy to see how these advancements could directly impact healthcare access or learning opportunities for you or your family or maybe your community actually in the very near future.
It's happening fast.
Speaking of impact, though, we really have to talk about the economy and the workforce. This is where the, okay, what does this mean for me question feels most immediate for a lot of people listening.
Yeah, and the article is pretty clear-eyed about this. It says, yes, AI will automate many jobs, particularly those involving repetitive or predictable tasks. That's not some future prediction. It's happening right now.
But crucially, it also emphasizes the creation of entirely new job categories.
Yeah.
Jobs that simply didn't exist even just a few years ago.
Right. Roles like AI prompt engineers people who become experts at crafting the specific language inputs needed to get the best, most creative, or most accurate outputs from these generative models. Or AI model trainers who guide and refine the behavior of these complex systems. Ethics consultants specializing in AI deployment. And of course, a whole range of AI-enhanced creatives who use these AI tools as core components of their workflow.
So it sounds less like total replacement and more like a massive workforce transformation.
That's the argument. The source really stresses the urgent need for reskilling and retraining initiatives. It argues the focus needs to be on preparing people not to compete against AI, but to develop the skills needed to effectively collaborate with it. The sort of future envisioned is one where AI handles the routine, the data crunching, the mundane stuff.
Right.
Freeing up us humans to focus on what we theoretically do best. Complex problem solving, empathy, creativity, strategy, critical thinking, human connection.
It absolutely makes you pause and think about your own work, or maybe the career paths young people are considering today. How might this shift impact what you do, or what skills will be most valuable going forward?
Definitely. And as AI gains all this power and autonomy, the ethical frontier isn't just some theoretical debate in an academic journal anymore. It's an active challenge we're wrestling with right now.
Yeah.
The article lays out the really hard questions that AI's power forces us to confront.
It lists specific challenges like, how do we handle data ownership when AI trains on these vast data sets, often scraped from the internet?
Good question.
How do we prevent algorithmic bias or discrimination from being amplified or even accidentally created by AI systems? How can we ensure transparency in AI decision-making processes and fairness in their outcomes, especially in really critical areas like lending or hiring or even justice?
Yeah, the stakes are high there.
And perhaps most fundamentally, who controls the underlying values and principles of these AI systems? And how are those values actually enforced?
These aren't abstract hypotheticals anymore. These are the real-world problems that frameworks like the EU AI Act are actively trying to legislate against. And they're the topics being debated right now at global forums like the EE, the UN, the World Economic Forum. The article identifies transparency, governance, and ensuring AI alignment, basically, making sure its goals match human intent and values as key ongoing challenges.
And this matters directly to you listening because these are the rules and the norms being hammered out right now that will directly shape how the AI tools you interact with every day operate and whether they ultimately serve human society well or potentially exacerbate existing problems.
Which brings us to the final point the article touches on, a development that feels almost, well, science fiction, yet it's already here, AI and human identity.
Yes, the mention of Sam Altman's company, Tools for Humanity, and their biometric orb device. That sounds incredibly futuristic.
It does. The premise, as described in the source, is basically born from this new reality we're entering. In a world where AI can generate text, images, voices, even videos that are completely indistinguishable from human output. How do you prove you're a real person online? How do you verify humanity itself in the digital sphere?
And their proposed solution involves scanning your iris with a physical device, this orb, to issue a digital identity.
Precisely. The orb scans your unique iris pattern and assigns you what they call a world ID. It's essentially a cryptographically secure proof that you are a distinct, real human being.
Okay.
The potential benefits presented are aimed squarely at combating the massive challenges emerging in the AI era, preventing widespread spam and bot farms, fighting sophisticated misinformation campaigns, protecting against next-level identity theft in this increasingly synthetic digital world.
That sounds incredibly powerful, maybe even necessary in some ways, but also, wow, it raises so many questions about privacy and control.
It absolutely does, and the article acknowledges this directly. The concerns are significant. The potential for centralized power over digital identity, the profound privacy implications of collecting biometric data on a large scale, and ultimately, who governs this foundational layer of proving humanity in the digital realm? Who makes the rules?
It really forces you to think hard about what digital identity even means anymore, and how fragile it might become when machines can mimic us so perfectly. What part of your online presence is uniquely, provably you?
It's a question that definitely pushes the boundaries of our current understanding of self, especially in a digital age.
So, wow, we've covered a lot of ground based on this article.
Oh.
AI's foundational shift from just automating tasks to truly augmenting human capability.
Yeah.
The incredible creative explosion unleashed by generative AI, the rise of these agentic systems that can actually act independently, the potential for AI as a powerful collaborator in creativity, the huge transformative global impacts we're seeing in healthcare and education, the complex reshaping of the economy and the workforce, the critical ethical questions we're all grappling with, and even these profound implications for verifying human identity in a world increasingly filled with synthetic content.
The article concludes, really, that AI is far more than just another technological leap. It suggests it's more like a new chapter in human evolution, challenging our core concepts of intelligence, creativity, and maybe even our fundamental role in the world.
And it reminds us that this future isn't just something that's happening to us. We are, as the source puts it, kind of co-creating it through the choices we make right now about how we develop and deploy these tools.
Exactly.
And while it's totally natural to feel maybe a sense of apprehension about the speed and the scale of these changes, the article also invites us to consider the incredible potential here. Expanding human capabilities, accelerating scientific discovery, unlocking entirely new forms of art and connection.
And it leaves us with this really striking final thought to carry forward. The only limit now is not really what AI can do,
but how far we dare to imagine what we can create with it.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.